And we are tracking a few of these showers and a rumble of thunder out through parts of central Virginia, but certainly not the rain that we have seen over the past several days. So we take a look at the radar right now, not as much showing up as what we saw even earlier this morning. We've got a line of some showers and embedded thunderstorms back here just west of Interstate 85. You can see a few isolated showers here across Hampton Roads, but that heavy rain that we had earlier today is now working its way off towards the north and east. A couple of showers and a little bit of a heavier downpour here in Hertford County, just east of Ahoskie and west of Bethlehem there, and it'll slowly move off towards the north, cross over into areas of Gates County over the next couple of say half hour or so, and just a couple of spotty showers up around Broad Bay and Back Bay in parts of Virginia Beach. Widening things out, we still have the advisories out. We have the flood warning until 5:30 for Virginia Beach, and we have the flood warning that's also in effect until 5:15 for Camden, Currituck, Pasquotank counties. Those will likely be allowed to expire as we're not looking at any more rain, but we still have the flood watch in effect for the rest of the evening. And you can see why we had those issues with flooding along the Outer Banks in Virginia Beach. Some of that heavy rain earlier today working its way off towards the north and east. That area of low pressure will clear the region. Still have a front stalled across the area, and that'll be enough to be the focusing mechanism over the next couple of days for more of your typical pop-up showers and thunderstorms like we see here in Hampton Roads in July. You can see those popping up across western Virginia. That's what we will see going into the day tomorrow and Friday. So here's Futurecast through the rest of the evening. A few isolated showers. I think Futurecast might be overdoing it just a little bit, but certainly not the rain like we have seen over the past several days. And notice by tomorrow morning, we're looking at partly cloudy skies, temperatures in the 70s, and we'll see some sunshine breaking through the clouds. Of course, that'll cause temperatures to warm up quickly, and with that added humidity, we'll see a few of those isolated pop-up showers and thunderstorms into the afternoon. High temperatures likely in the upper 80s to near 90 degrees, and really more of the same on Friday as those southwest winds continue, starting the day in the 70s. Partly sunny skies through much of the day, and into the afternoon, a few isolated pop-up showers and thunderstorms. We'll take you back to this morning when we actually saw a little bit of sunshine around sunrise. Then those clouds started to thicken up. We saw some of those rounds of heavy rain this morning. Then it tapered off to more isolated showers into the afternoon. You can see every once in a while a few breaks in the clouds and a quick sprinkle will move through. And now we're actually seeing some blue skies out there as well. Temperature of 81 degrees, winds out of the south at 10 miles per hour, but it's muggy. Humidity at 77%, giving us a dew point of 73 degrees. 80 degrees in Chesapeake and Smithfield, 77 in Gloucester, 79 up at Wallops Island, and 79 in Williamsburg, 84 in Portsmouth, 82 in Gatesville, and 77 degrees in Kill Devil Hills. So for tonight, a few isolated showers, muggy and warm, down to 73 degrees, back up to 90 tomorrow with some isolated thunderstorms, meaning fewer of them, still hot and humid. 75 muggy and warm tomorrow night, and 90 degrees again on Friday. Isolated thunderstorms. Rain chances go up a little bit more for Saturday and Sunday. Normal high is 87. We're forecasting a high of 87 on Saturday with a 50% chance of scattered showers and storms. Same thing on Sunday, then isolated to scattered, meaning those chances go down just a little bit on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday with highs around 87.